With the implementation of the new 11% boss HP nerf and the introduction to new bosses like Hard Limbo, Baldrix, Hard Cowling, and in today's video we're gonna go over the 5 best party bossers aka supports in Maplestory 2025. Before we get into these 5 amazing support classes that you need for your party bossing, we're gonna talk about the 11% HP nerf quick. If you guys are unaware, the endgame bosses HP all have been reduced by 11% HP, making these bosses a little bit more feasible for more and more of the player base, which means more and more of the player base is going to be wanting to form parties, which means you're going to want these supports in your parties. We're also going to talk about how good these supports are for certain bosses like Hard Cowling, Limbo, Kalos, etc. Some supports are very good, but some are more situational than others. Now, these supports aren't necessarily going to go in any order, take it as you will, but first up on this list we are going to be talking about none other than Bishop. Now, Bishop has been a little bit controversial over the past few months with its support capabilities being nerfed. Even so, Bishop is still one of the best support classes in the game, and this class used to give 80% final damage to all 5 members in the party, which is absolutely insane to think about. Bishop currently in a 3-man party is giving 23 final damage, in a 6-man party is giving 17 final damage, and in a 2-man party is giving 30 final damage. Bishop is still one of the best support classes in the game even after the nerf, and on top of the final damage support capabilities that Bishop has to offer, this class is also offering you healing support, a door that goes on cooldown, and of course if you want to count the real HS at the end of the boss run for more drop rate, you can. Nonetheless, Bishop is still one of the best support classes in the game and is very good in bosses like Hard Cowling, Kalos, and even Hard Limbo. Bishop is feasible in. Definitely pick up Bishops if you are thinking of making any of these endgame parties: Kalos, Kalos, Hard Cowling, and Limbo. Moving on this list, the support that tops every single support in this game. I've been waiting to make this video because I wanted to see if this class was going to get changed or not, and fortunately, or depending on who you are, unfortunately, Lynn did not get touched, and this class is giving people 120% FD for 30 seconds currently. Those numbers are not made up, they are real. It is quite literally doubling a party member's damage, more than doubling a party member's damage, and it is doing so for 30 seconds. This class is very good in every single endgame boss, specifically in Hard Limbo. Being that it is a 3-man boss, you're essentially getting a 4th man, more than a 4th man in Hard Limbo due to the 120% that Lynn offers to that character. So how this class works is it links to a specific party member, and when it links to a specific party member, it is also going to heal that party member significantly. This class also has another built-in party door that I believe does stack with Bishop's door. Now, that being said, Bishop and Lynn's support do not stack together, so that 120% FD is not going to stack with the 30 FD that Bishop is also giving you, so keep that in mind. But Lynn is still very good in 6-man parties like Kalos, Hard Cowling, even if a Bishop is still present in that party. That Lynn is going to double your highest damage dealing party member's damage, essentially creating a whole another juiced up party member for that 30-second burst. Very good class. If you are lucky enough to find a juiced up Lynn, definitely take one. The future of this class is also very volatile. We don't really know what's gonna happen because in other servers this class got nerfed to 50% final damage for 20 seconds, but it remains the same in GMS. We'll have to see if the future of this class get changed or they leave it the same. As of right now, this class is insanely broken, and once again, crazy for party bossing. Definitely want to pick one up if you are able to. Moving on to the next class on this list, we have Shade. Now, this is a super underrated support, and I don't know why it's not talked about more. If you are ever able to pick up a juiced up shade, I highly recommend partying with one. I currently party with one for hard limbo, and this class is amazing to party with, especially if you are an archer, and we're going to talk about why. This class is a 2-minute party support class, and it is giving you 15% final damage for 10 seconds, and also has a skill called Spirit Gate that is giving you 80% crit rate and 10% crit damage for 45 seconds. Keep in mind, Spirit Gate also only has a 15-second downtime as well, so this thing is essentially permanently giving you 10% crit damage. And if you are an archer, you have a skill called Vicious Shot. I know there's some archers watching this video right now that don't even know what Vicious Shot does. Essentially, Vicious Shot turns crit rate into crit damage on your burst. So on your burst, you are going to be getting 40% extra crit damage from the 80% crit damage that Spirit Gate gives you. This class is extremely good to party with and is very good for bosses like Hard Limbo, Hard Cowling, and even X Kalos, depending on if your party is a 2-minute or not. Keep in mind, this is a 2-minute support, but if you can find a full 2-minute party, Shade is absolutely amazing. Now, next up on this list, we have another unorthodox support class, but one that is slowly making its way to mainstream parties. Zero. This class, one, just has insane damage output. It is a crazy damage dealer, but two, has very unique support capabilities that is very situational. This class is giving you 20 attack / magic attack. It is giving you +1 attack speed. This is where the support really shines. It has a crit bind every 35 seconds and can use a skill called Shadow Rain, which will stun the boss and can be reset by cooldown skip and other party member skills like Time Leap. This skill can just permanently stun the boss. I've seen it before. I've seen this thing literally bind a boss for 60 seconds, especially if you are partying in a 2-minute, which, keep in mind, Zero is a 2-minute. You can essentially have the boss bound for 50% uptime. I've seen it before. It is absolutely insane. It is going to ensure that you can get all the damage that you need to get off in a boss fight. Super fun to play with. Very situational though, as the bind does not work in bosses like Cowling. So if you are thinking of forming a H-Cowling party, Zero isn't the best when it comes to the support capability, but keep in mind the damage is still very high. Now, for bosses like Limbo, Hard Limbo, Normal Limbo, this class is amazing. It rips. It keeps the boss bound. It can actually animation cancel some of Limbo's attacks, so when it goes into that burrow, it can keep it from going into that burrow. Super underrated support. Highly recommend partying with one if you have not already. Now, lastly on this list, we are going to be talking about another very up in the air support, and that is going to be Kanna. Now, Kanna actually got its support fully nerfed in servers like Maplestory, but in GMS, Kanna support stayed the same. It is still giving you 15% final damage for 60 seconds and is offering you a 15-second bind as well. Now, Kanna is very good in 6-man party bosses. I believe it is still the best, or it comes second to Lynn in 6-man parties for X Kalos, Hard Cowling. This class is very, very, very good, and the 15-second bind is nothing to sleep on as well. Although it does not work in bosses like Hard Cowling, it still works in X Kalos and C Kalos, making Kanna one of the better supports in the game still. It also offers a little boss barrier that is going to give boss damage, and the domain does offer a little bit of healing capabilities as well. Kanna and bosses like Limbo, on the other hand, are not the best. You would definitely rather take classes like Lynn or Bishop, given that those are giving you way more final damage than Kanna. But nonetheless, prior to contrary belief and what a lot of people still say, Kanna is bad, I disagree. I think Kanna is very, very good when it comes to party bossing and the support that it has to offer. But with the 11% HP nerf already being implemented implemented into the game, and new bosses like Baldrix coming to GMS soon. I thought this was a good time to release this video, especially for newer players that are thinking of making parties, forming parties, or joining parties. You always want to try to get the best supports possible, and I think this video showcases what you want and what you don't want in certain bossing scenarios. Saying that, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and best of luck clearing the end game, late game bosses in this game. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.